It's been a little bit of a slow start to the Portland real estate market's spring buying season. That and mortgage rates started to fall again. Let's take a look at the very latest stats and trends. Welcome and thank you for tuning in this week. I'm RRMilligan and I've got the very latest in stats and trends for the Portland real estate market. I hope that you enjoy this week's show and get something both helpful and informative out of it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them in the comments. The average sale price this last week was down from the previous week, but more importantly, it ended up almost matching the average sale price from last year at this time. It was only up by 0.2%. That's a pretty meager number given the current rate of inflation. However, given the really strong numbers at the start of the month, the average sale price is still up 6.7% over the first 3 weeks of February 2024. And that's one of the strongest year-over-year gains that we've seen in the past 12 plus months. We'll just have to watch and see if this diminished margin between sale prices last year and this year holds on and becomes a new trend. Now on to supply and demand. If you remember last week, I thought we would see a bounce back effect after what looked like kind of suppressed numbers due to the snowstorm, but it didn't really happen. We saw small increases in the number of homes that hit the for sale market and also small increases in the number of real estate purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers. Compared to last year at this time, the number of new purchase contracts signed was down by about 9% compared to 2024, and I was expecting to see an increase, so we're gonna have to see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks. As I mentioned at the top of this video, mortgage rates started to fall this week on the heels of some weaker consumer sentiment reports. The best rates I could find advertised on Thursday morning were about 6.375% to about 6.5% for the 30-year fixed, best case scenario. That is about a quarter of a point lower than what we were seeing last week at this time. As usual, if there is a big rate change on Friday morning, I will post it right over here. So what might we have in our future? Well, this week we had a mixed bag of reports on the economy and some concerns over tariffs taking effect next week. That resulted in the lower mortgage rates that I mentioned earlier. Still to come this week, we're waiting for the Fed's favorite inflation report on Friday morning, which could send rates one direction or the other. If that report does come out before I release this video on Friday, I will post the update right over here. The Fed is also supposed to meet on March 18th and 19th, but there's almost no expectation that we're going to see any sort of change in the Fed funds rate at that meeting, and that may hold true for maybe another 3 or 4 months. So there you have it in a nutshell, the latest in stats and trends for the Portland real estate market. I hope that you got something of value from this report, and I look forward to seeing you right here next week.